Good Monday morning. Tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China spurred retaliation over the weekend. We're breaking down the potential impact on trucking, supply chains, and consumer wallets in today's feature. Plus, P44 CEO claps back at My Carrier open letter, Goldman's $293 million warehouse expansion, ArcBest's Q4 hit, and more. Today's newsletter is brought to you by ePay Manager. Take control of your back office with ePay and decrease your cost per load with advanced automation and carrier POD retrieval. Top lane movers powered by Greenscreens AI. Greenscreens AI forecasts truckload buy prices tailored to each brokerage using AI and 130 plus data points. What's cooking in freight? Project 44 CEO Jet McCandless refutes claims made in My Carrier's open letter last week, alleging that the company signed a 5-year contract in 2023 while secretly building a competing platform. Despite benefiting from Project 44's discounted technology since 2017, P44 says My Carrier breached the agreement by developing its own eBOL system and switching providers without notice. Legal proceedings revealed premeditated violations, with My Carrier attempting to evade accountability despite saying they would work towards a cure. McCandless is emphasizing that this case matters because this isn't just about a contract dispute, it's about trust, fair business practices, and the integrity of industry partnerships. Project 44 went on to say they did not initiate this dispute, but they will not stand by while My Carrier undermines contracts, misuses their technology, and deceives the industry. Goldman bets big on last mile logistics with a $293 million deal. E-commerce demand isn't slowing down, at least not in the warehouse sector. Goldman Sachs and Delphin Industrial just dropped $293 million on a 21 warehouse portfolio, expanding their logistics footprint across Las Vegas, Dallas, Cincinnati, and Pennsylvania. The facility is 92% leased to 68 tenants, including Amazon and Red Bull. This highlights the ongoing strength of last mile logistics, even as high interest rates put pressure on commercial real estate. Quote unquote, having executed our business plan at these properties, we are pleased to have reached this agreement and deliver a terrific outcome for our investors, said a Blackstone spokesperson whose firm sold the warehouses. ArcBest faces tonnage declines in a Q4 report. ArcBest reported Q4 2024 revenue of $1 billion, down from $1.1 billion in Q4 2023. Adjusted earnings per share reached $1.33, surpassing estimates by $1.14, lower year over year. The company's asset-based segment saw a 7.6% revenue drop, with tonnage per day down 7.3%. Despite the industry's current issues, ArcBest improved productivity and maintained pricing discipline. However, the asset-light unit faced continued losses due to weak truckload pricing. For 2024, ArcBest generated $4.2 billion in revenue and returned over $85 million to shareholders. Management plans to remain focused on cost control and network efficiencies while it continues to navigate the challenges of the current state of the freight market. Together with ePay, you have options. Don't think you're stuck with yesterday's best. ePay Manager is today's premier option for brokers to elevate their back office through best-in-class automation, audit, and payments. ePay's focus on continuous innovation has established the platform as the most configurable back-office tool in the industry today. Audit, load documents, resolve exceptions, and automate payments in 3 clicks or less. Tariff Wars Reloaded, what it means for freight. Over the weekend, President Trump imposed hefty new tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, igniting a wave of retaliatory measures. The tariffs, 25% on all goods from Mexico and Canada, 10% on Canadian energy products, 10% on goods from China, goes into effect Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. Retaliation begins. Canada is hitting back with $100 billion in retaliatory tariffs, targeting U.S. food, whiskey, appliances, and more. Meanwhile, Mexico plans countermeasures, likely focusing on agriculture and industrial exports. China vowed corresponding countermeasures and is taking legal action at the World Trade Organization. Freight industry fallout. Trucks move 85% of U.S. to Mexico freight and 67% of U.S. to Canada freight. Many experts say new tariffs could drive up costs and slow trade. However, Jose Minaro, managing director for Sunset Transportation's Laredo hub, had this to share with FreightWaves. The year started at a normal pace, no slowdowns, not even because of all the political noise. Nothing that we've seen on the day-to-day operation represents what we're hearing out there. It's business as usual. Others project the fallout is still to come for the consumer. A 25% tariff levied on Mexico could see the price of a new tractor increase by as much as $35,000, warned Chris Spear, CEO of the American Truck Association. The impact on American farmers is also significant, with Mexico being a key buyer of U.S. corn and China historically retaliating against U.S. soybeans. Supply chain professor Jason Miller warns. American farmers are in for an unpleasant treat because Mexico is a huge source for U.S. corn, and China is likely to retaliate against soybeans like they did in 2019. As such, be prepared for a tax dollar to bail out farmers like we did in 2019. Auto industry, the canaries are in the coal mine. The North American auto supply chain is deeply intertwined. Canadian manufacturers send parts back and forth across the border before final assembly. Nobody can absorb this kind of cost, not automakers, not suppliers, not consumers, said Linda Hasenfratz, executive chairwoman of Linamar, one of North America's top auto part suppliers. Experts point to potential shutdowns of U.S. auto plants with millions of jobs on the line. Energy and supply chains disrupted. 10% tariffs on Canadian energy could push gas and electricity prices higher for American consumers. U.S. companies are accelerating supply chain diversification. Expect more shifts towards Vietnam, India, and Latin America. Even Republican leaders are voicing concerns. Senator Mitch McConnell called it a mistake, warning it will drive the cost of everything up. The question is, will this last? Some experts believe these tariffs won't stay in place for long. Jorge Gonzalez Henriksen, co-CEO of the nearshore company, argued, there is little to gain from tariffs. As neither American companies nor consumers would benefit, decision makers in Washington understand this reality. But others, like Miller, fear nationalist sentiment in Canada and Mexico could prolong the dispute. If trade relationships deteriorate further, businesses may permanently shift sourcing strategies away from the U.S. What else is going on around the freight web? Saia partners with NASCAR. Saia has announced its sponsorship of 7 NASCAR Cup races this upcoming season. Joe Gibbs Racing will place Saia's logo on the most prominent signage of their car. There's a new #1 ship-owning nation. China has surpassed Japan to become the world's leading ship-owning country. China's fleet valued at $255 billion. Rising demands for bulkers and container ships, along with strong market conditions, push China to the top spot. Fraudulent gas engines seized. CBP intercepted 1,134 fraudulent gas engines, valued at $1.34 million at the Minneapolis-St. Paul Express consignment facility. Undeclared goods seized. CBP officers at the Eagle Pass port of entry, Texas, seized the undeclared goods, including cigarettes and protein powder, worth over $1.9 million. Non-intrusive systems detected anomalies within the merchandise, labeled as other made-up particles, which led to the discovery. Time for the FreightCaviar Corner. Lead with vision with Travis Ahern. In this week's episode of the FreightCaviar podcast, we sat down with Travis Ahern, co-founder and COO at Double Diamond Transport. He shares the best advice he's received on running a business and much more. Catch it on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Upcoming conferences, Manifest, the future of supply chain and logistics, will bring together 6,000 plus attendees and 350 plus speakers across 150 plus sessions in Las Vegas for the industry's most anticipated event. Do you need to find shippers fast? Looking for customers? Check out Shipper CRM, the world's largest shipper database.